Hi, Nick. I thought it might be efficacious for me to video doing what I'm doing because this is something that you should commonly be able to do yourself. I'm not making you wrong about it. I'm just saying uh, this is a common task. I've got this open in Cheap Architect Premiere X10. So in order for you to open this file once I send it back to you, I'm going to double click on the plan defaults, general plan defaults. And then this doesn't exist in Pro, but in Premiere, I can do this checkbox here. It allows you to continue editing it in Pro when I send it back. So I'd show you that. In order for this to make a good front elevation, we really need the roofs on. And of course, you didn't send a picture of the roofs, just a picture of the railings, which I have on my second monitor. And this has a shed dormer over part of this here, and I doubt that that's the case with this one, but I think the elevation would look better with a roof on it. So what I thought I would do, I'm going to go back to plan view. Number one, I'm going to create a terrain plane. Over here, terrain, create terrain perimeter. It just makes elevations look a bit better. That's the terrain perimeter edge that I'm bringing in there. I'm going to go back to the open camera, and you see that what that does. It just gives a base for everything. And I'm going to make this a little bit thicker, thickening it to cover up the foundation. Now, this error message here, deck is over a non-deck room. This deck is over apparently a non, wait a minute, they're both decks. What I would do, excuse me, let's make this a, excuse me, I've lost my voice. Get a sip of coffee. I'm going to change this from, and maybe it's a deck and so forth, but the software doesn't like decks over decks. So what I'm going to do is, I think we can leave this a deck. We go up here. Yeah, you'll get this forever. It's not important. Let's see. We'll change this from a deck to a balcony. I don't think it's going to make all that much difference, except that we'll no longer. And if you wanted to say deck, that's fine. We can change the text to deck. And also this setting here that shows the automatic dimensions. I never use that because it's not very accurate. It always rounds off those things. So I'm going to go down to rooms, interior dimensions, and turn that off. Something that is actually accurate and useful, and under rooms is interior area. I use that quite a bit because it's useful for figuring flooring. But the dimensions are just rounded off. Now, why this says deck here, I don't know. I'm not going to show that. That's obviously not a deck. Oh, it's marked a deck. Okay. Let's mark it the same. And just not show I'm not going to show the, okay, let's see what that did. We're not getting the error message anymore from the software, but now we have this void here under the deck. Seen that before. So I'm just going to build floor framing to fill that in. Let's see, wait a minute, it's not here. It's under build menu, framing, build framing. And we want sub 444 build floor framing. Okay. Yeah. I don't need it on in plan view, and it doesn't have anything to do with the, see, there it is. In plan view, I'm just going to turn it off. It's under framing, floor framing. Yeah. I wanted to show in the camera view. Whoops. Okay, must not be turned on in the camera view. Okay. Well, they didn't fill in the edges. I don't know why. Okay. What I'm going to do then for this elevation, I'm going to go up to the second floor, and I'm going to click in the room there, and then I'm going to use this command here in the edit toolbar. This is the edit toolbar. It's normally parked down there, and so you can't see the label, but whenever you select something, this comes to life. So I'm going to create a room polyline, and then convert polyline, convert it to a slab. And I'm going to make that slab 12 inches thick. And then I'm going to go back to the camera. See it, that slab is down here. I'm going to click on the slab and move it up to, well, 10 feet. We'll see where it is. Look, that's a little bit high. Drag it down. What I had in mind for it is, to fill in that gap there. I was trying to fill it in with the framing, but that didn't work very well. So I'm going to take, let's see, this material here. I think it's just hickory. Yeah, hickory, honey. I'm going to use that. I wanted to find out what it is first before I sprayed it on there. Yeah, there we go. The only thing wrong with that is the grain's running this way, and I need it to run the other way. So I'm going to take this, and there's no pattern. See, it's just, I'm going to rotate the texture 90 degrees. So the grain runs longitudinally there, like that. Now, that messed it up down here, but I think it's less important than there. Okay. Now I'm going to click on this one, press the shift key, and then hold the shift key down to select all three walls, and then open them for specification. We'll go over here to rail style. And what I want is not balusters. See, right now, balusters and poster rail is selected, and also this stuff here. I want to use panels. So, that's not the panel I want, but I want panels, and I don't want, let's see, you're in your picture, this cable railing doesn't have a bottom rail. So I'm going to turn off, raise the bottom, include bottom rail. Okay. I guess we'll include a top rail. But so now I'm going to go to newels and balusters, and you go over here to panels. There's a panels thing here. I'm going to click on library. And we'll go to fences and railings, cable. And your railing doesn't have this little guy here in it, so I'm just going to select this one. And then, of course, the newels in your picture. I'm trying to drag this over. It won't come. There we go. Look like round 1.25 inch rails and posts. So what I'm going to do is we'll change the newel post from square to round. And I'm going to change that to inch, 1.25 inches. And I don't think you can do this in Pro, but in Cheap Premiere you can. I'm going to go over to the Rails tab, which this doesn't exist in Pro. Sorry. And I want to change the, well, the top rail. I'm going to replace it with a round one. So you won't be able to undo this in Pro, but everything else I've shown you is within the capabilities of Home Designer Pro. So where's, I'm looking for handrails. Yeah. Stop talking and start looking. There we go. There's a round one. And I want the diameter the same, 1.25 inches. Why does that still look goofy like that? Oh, I see. I didn't change this as well. There we go. That didn't look exactly right. I think there's a setting I missed. Probably on rail style, and it's post to rail, post to beam. Let's see, where's that setting? There. That rail to post looks a little more like, it's not perfect, but I think it looks better than what I did have the setting. It looks like you've got the materials of this, looks like to be some sort of metallic chrome or something like that. So let's go over to the, well, I've got all the three of these walls open. I'm going to go to the materials tab and select, okay, stainless steel brushed. And I went with the same material on the newels and the, on the newels. So I'll go select material. It should be in a plain material now since it's been, there it is, stainless steel brush. Yeah. And I want the rail, same thing. Now, see, currently it's bone instead of stainless steel brush. There it is, stainless steel brushed. I know this is, won't show up in a black and white view, but okay, that looks better. The last thing is I'm going to put a roof on. I don't know what the roof is actually like on this house. The geometry of this plan and this house that you sent me a picture of are radically different. So I don't know what's real. I don't know if this deck is covered or not. But I think what I'm going to do is just make this and this. See, I'm on the second floor. Yeah, good. We'll open that, go to the roof tab. There we go. And oh, you've already got the marked full gable. Good. And then this and this are probably gables as well, I would guess. Perhaps not. Oh, you got the marked full gable. Good. And then we'll go over here to build roof. You got the pitch set to 7. I assume that's correct. We'll build the roof planes. See what it does. Oh, look, that's interesting. Oh, it didn't build over here because this is a quote unquote deck. So we need to fix that. I'm going to change this to, yeah, to the rebuild roofs again. It looks like it's putting hip roofs there for some reason. Let's see, what do you got it programmed in here on this wall? Upper pitch 7. Okay, let's see what that did. It's kind of a fairly interesting roof. Well, I don't know if this is correct or not, but it's certainly interesting looking. Doesn't look very realistic to me. So I'm going to take some of these additional commands out of there that you put in. The upper pitch, get rid of that. This upper pitch here. See, this is Dutch gable wall. Oh, okay. That's what you got there. 7, upper pitch 7. We ought to do the same thing over here. Why is there a window in the middle of a wall? That's weird. Oh well, I'll let you worry about that. I'm going to use the wall break tool. Well, I can't very well do that. I'm going to line that break up. I'm going to move this out of the way. That's not going to work. Can't have that in the middle of that wall. There's a bit of a break there, so I can tell this piece of wall to also be a gable. And we want Dutch gable wall, upper pitch. Okay, fine. And then we'll rebuild the rows for those new commands. Since this is kind of important to the elevation, it would have been nice if you'd communicated some of that data to me. I think it looks like we didn't get a Dutch gable on there. We didn't get a Dutch gable on this side yet, but we're closer to what I think is acceptable. I guess there's not enough room here to create a Dutch gable there at this pitch. I'll take that command out and then see what that does. I'm just guessing. I want to rebuild the roof. Well, we got no good Dutch gable at all. Why is that way? We didn't get a gable over here at all. There must not be enough room to do that. That's the reason the software is not doing it. Let me see what this looks like. See, the fascia's down here and this is up here. There must be different settings in the ceiling height. Let's see, finished ceiling 96. Okay. No, these are all the same. I don't understand why the fascias are radically different. Let me see what the roofs say. Yeah, fascias at 219 and 15, 220 basically. And this one's Up to, well, they say that they're the same. They don't look the same. They're not the same. 219 and 15.6. Oh, okay. This is over here. So, okay, I understand now. Yeah, this is radically different. I wonder why it's radically different. Maybe you've done something over here in these walls that I'm not aware of. I'm going to go to the roof tab. Aha! Upper pitch. There you go. That's why I did that. That looks better. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if this is the way it looks, but this is more usual looking. Okay. So this is all kind of window dressing. I got that. I'm going to raise the terrain a little bit. Yeah, that's probably more like what it is. But again, since I don't have a picture of the original house, I don't know. Then you will go over here outside the terrain plane, create an elevation camera. And select those roof planes and turn the label on. Oh, show in this view. That's what I want turned on. And also, if that didn't come on, I don't know if you're doing gutters, but I'm going to turn the gutters off. I'm going to go to display options and roofs, gutters. I'm going to turn that off. And roofs labels, I'm going to turn that layer on. I don't know if Pro does this or not, but Premiere does. And I'm going to turn window and door labels on. Window labels, door labels. You'll see those appear. And I don't, if I knew if this is the front or the back of the house, I would put front elevation, rear elevation. I don't know that, so but I would ask that text here. If these windows are marked double hung, that's because you haven't changed the default. If these are single hung windows, then you probably ought to go over to window defaults, open that dialog, and change the default from double hung to single hung. I don't know, but that's how you do that. See, now it says SH instead of DH. And then you might want to say what kind of shingles, what kind of siding. You could add those with text. I'll, I'll show you how to do that. Go to the text, select the default arrow with text, left click drag, left click drag, and then you can change that if it's something else. And I don't like that arrow type, so I'm going to change the arrow to something more draftsman-like. Yeah. And then I'm going to take this and copy it, paste it. Copy that again. Just a little slightly time saving to do this. this cable railing. And so forth, whatever seems significant for you to point out. And okay, next thing is, if you want a color elevation, then we're kind of all ready to go. I don't usually do color because it's so much more expensive to print color, especially at a print shop. Like if you have to have a large format type paper, then it gets too expensive. But if you print it yourself, you're pretty much all set. You can just go File. I'll show you about elevations. I'm going to turn on Show Sheet right there. Drawing Sheet. And the drawing sheet, see there's the drawing sheet, is set up over here under File, Print, Drawing Sheet set up. Left click, we get a dialog. And you can see the drawing sheet is set to 18 by 24. If you're going to print on letter size, then we'll change it to letter size. And it's set to 1/4-inch scale. Of course, on letter size paper, 1/4-inch scale of this little house won't fit, so I'm going to make it 1/8-inch scale, half as large. And it'll update. I thought it would update. You go back to print, drawing sheet setup. Maybe I clicked canceler instead of OK. No. Huh. Let me check something. It doesn't look any smaller to me than it was a moment ago. Let's just check and see what this virtual sheet of paper is. Oh, I can't do that. All right, I'll just File, Print. I'll print it to PDF and then check that. Okay, it says letter and it's okay. Yeah, okay, it's fine. I'm not going to print it. I was checking. In Home Designer Pro, you don't have to do it this way. If you have a layout, let's go over here to New Layout. Now, this is all set up for my own purposes. I'm going to, in this case, I think I'll just go to File, Open Layout. And we'll go over here to Documents. And I'm in X10, so I'm going to open the X10 folder, Templates, Layout Borders, Imperial, and see if I got one. Here's Architectural D, 18 by 24. I don't have a letter size. Let's see, let me go back up. I thought, oh, there is a letter layout. Okay. So this is one that I put together for just letter size stuff. And whenever I open a layout, I never trust myself or the software. I always measure it to make sure that that's 8.5 by 11. Okay, good. Now we have this. I'm going to go over here, fill the screen. Now what I do, I'm going to go change the camera type for black and white printing. Let's see, I'm going to go to the render types, rendering techniques, and I've got it vector view. That's what I wanted to make sure I had. I'm going to send it to layout. When I get this dialog, I don't care about that error message. This is fine. plot lines. See, I just want to make sure that it's plot lines. I don't want to have color fill. I just want black and white plot lines. We'll click OK. And there it is. And once it's on the layout, I can adjust the edges of the view. The scaling doesn't change. And there's this tag down here. I'm going to open the instance here and go to the label tab and suppress the label. I like to create my own labels. So there's a couple of ways you can, if scaling doesn't matter, now in Cheap Premiere, I can change the scale while on layout. In Pro, you would just delete this, go back to the original source, send it again, and then go send to layout. And in this case, I'm going to send it just fit to sheet instead of scaled. I still wanted plot lines. But once it's on layout, then I can resize it. If it's not scaled, I can resize it. We'll turn the label off again. I'm going to change the edges. Now, with an unscaled view, you can upsize it. Whoops. Okay. By using, press the X key, then grab a corner handle. You hold the X key down while you're doing that. See, and it upsizes the whole view. And it's not scaled, but it's just much larger, easier to read. If you want a scale view, then you would have to, in Pro, you would have to just delete this one, go back to the original, File, send to layout, and then I'm going to change the scale. I know that a 1/4 inch won't fit, but maybe 3/16 will fit. We'll send that plot lines and see how it looks. Okay, that worked pretty well. It's pretty good size. And I can just write on the layout that it's 3/16 scale. I'm just adjusting the visible edges of this view. Then we'll turn the label off. Okay. And then I can print this to paper or to PDF. And this is letter size. Now I'm not going to save this, just demonstrations. So what I'm going to do is hold on to this until you get a chance to view the video and tell me if the roofs are correct and exactly how you want the elevation printed and what sort of what this information is. I think if I was to print it now, it's not going to be as complete as once you tell me exactly what you want, then I can do exactly that, okay? So I'm going to save this and shut down until I hear from you. And thanks for watching. I'll send you a link to this video.